welcome back to Giraffe Reaction Zone, and we are in the bad spot. So I want to take a moment, take a video, the whole video about my thoughts, about what is actually happening within the Straw Hat crew. I want to speak a little bit about what happened in the Long Ring Long Land with the Davy Backfight fight, basically where is the fight between ideas and loyalty within the Straw Hat. How this actually collide, how this works. For example, what's important? Luffy becoming a pirate king or Zoro's life? What's more important for Luffy? Ideas or the crew? I'm gonna speak a little bit about the going merry situation, how Luffy make a decision and Usopp's approach to it. I also want to give some information about the crew, how between themselves, how's Chopper and Zoro and Sanji thinking about the crew, what is their bond and connection. Mike's connection definitely not well. Also want to speak about fight between Luffy and Usopp, simply what it is actually means in my opinion, because it's a big thing and I wasn't able to give you everything during the reaction. Also ongoing question, is Luffy a good captain or a bad captain? Also I'm kept forgetting, ladies and gents, to give me this bloody like and subscribe. I really need a like and subscribe, and definitely let me know in a comment what do you think about my thoughts. So please enjoy the video while I'm fixing this mic. Clash between bonds and ideas. But firstly, Davy Backfight is basically a fight when bonds between the crew members are basically a bargaining chip that you can toss it or win or lose between the captains. Even the captains can be taken. It's basically a taking a crew member from one ship to another. Member who's transitioning from one crew to another have to swear loyalty. It was originated surprisingly on the pirate island. It is hard to imagine that we are in a Grand Line. We have 4 seas, west, east, north and south, and there's still a pirate island while we have the world government and marine force, including with the 7 warlords, and yet we having a full pirate islands which is so broken that such a Davy Backfight emerged in a large scale. I wonder if there will be like entire crew which strength will be so enormous that even the world government cannot take down or will have to put a lot of force to face it. I wonder if such a pirate crew exists. But simply by using this, you can actually make it happen, isn't it? And how this relates to Straw Hat, they literally reject that kind of games. Their loyalty is built on trust and shared dreams instead of the fear to the captain. Like Chopper, for example. Chopper is the character who's treating friends the most, whose word friend is the most important. He once admitted that he became a pirate because of Luffy, and he can only imagine sailing with them, nobody else. That was happening when actually the Foxy was taken a Chopper as a first member when Luffy's team lost the round and Chopper was taken, and he couldn't agree because he have to swear loyalty. He didn't want to do it. Eventually Zoro has to speak with him and tell him to be patient because he wanted to be a friend of Luffy, friend of the others. He just wanted to be with friends. And now when he was taken out from them, he felt so bad that he was literally crying. Another example is Zoro, who said once, and again in the same ship in the Davy Back arc, in this Long Ring Long Land arc, that if not for Luffy and the crew when he's in as a Straw Hat, he would, ladies and gents, quit the piracy. So Zoro he's not want to be a pirate. The pirate is just a thing which just came along, but he didn't want it in the first place. All what he wants is to be the greatest swordsman in the world and be with his friends, also with Luffy, because he make a bond with Luffy and others. So for those two, and I'm assuming for everybody, they literally a family. They want to be together, so such thing like Davy Bug fight cannot be accepted by them by any chance. But there is a twist, ladies and gents, because at the beginning it actually wasn't like that. Because you don't forget how Luffy actually recruit Zoro. Maybe with Chopper is different because Chopper went from the very beginning, because he's 15, to be with friend. But with Zoro was different actually. He literally forced Zoro to join the crew. But their bonds wasn't that powerful at the beginning, with Zoro as an example. Because his highest priority was always to be a greater swordsman of the sea. And he even stated that to Luffy, if you would do anything that forces Zoro to forget about his dream, he will cut Luffy. He literally says that at front of him just to let him know about his priority. And that makes so much sense, because if he went with Luffy only because Luffy convinced him, later on he make those bonds that he says this is the only basically pirate crew for Zoro to be in. If there will be forcing Zoro, he will simply quit piracy and he don't care what others will actually say about him, because he's no longer a pirate. He will be a wanted man because he has a bounty on his head, but that's it. But there's a twist, ladies and gents. While their bonds are so powerful between each other, there is not always the highest priority, because they value to be individual as much as to be loyal to everybody else. Early in the series, Zoro make it clear, if Luffy ever made him abandon his dream to become a greatest swordsman in the world, he wouldn't hesitate to walk away, to abandon Luffy's crew. He even said he will cut him off. Zoro's loyalty to the crew exists precisely because he can stay true to himself within the crew, and the others accepting that. So now we're having a Sanji, who's during the Davy Bug fight, when in a specific round when he was victorious, the only thing which was missing was to touch the guy to win Robin back. He prioritized rescue the other girl from Foxy's team who were falling from the cliff because she was a woman, because that was his code. It was his choice rooted in his ideas, exactly like Zoro becoming the world's greatest swordsman. Even though it cost him heavily, because not only they didn't help, they didn't take Robin back, but they also lost Chopper at the same time. And why I'm talking here now when we're getting in the middle of the Water 7, maybe it's the beginning still. Water 7, the bonds looks like escalated to the roof. The balance between bonds and ideals becomes more critical. And looks like the Davy Bug fight in that scene, in that scenario before the Water 7, it's just a teaser what we can accept in Water 7. So this is basically what I want to share it with you in case of bonds. So if somebody will ask me what's more important, let's say Zoro, his life, his idea of becoming a greatest swordsman in the world, or let's say Luffy's life, or somebody else in the crew, doesn't really matter in my opinion. Yet the ideas are so high, I think in this particular scenario I will say that the bond will be stronger, because he will never allow him to be killed. But also at the same time I do believe, because I've seen that repetitively, they just going for both. For them there is no such option to choose between one and another. They always going for two, and failing two of them at once, dying possibly because of that, or acquiring both goals. But they will always go for two. So they will always go for two options. It isn't important for them to make a decision. They're not gonna make a decision. They trust each other to the point they will survive. They putting their life on the line. That's what I'm seeing. And they also will accomplish their goals. If not, they will simply die. That's my take on it. Let me know what you think of it. They're going marry the ship. Looks like we will not know. I will not know. Maybe there is somewhere in SBS. I've heard there is lots of question answered there. Who fixed the ship on the Skypia arc? Because the Skypia arc is gone. I know sometimes we getting an answers about certain question like 100 episodes later. However, we will see. I'm doubtful I will find out who was the one helping fixing the Going Merry. Do we have any hidden crew member? Not so sure about it. Anyway, the Going Merry for the crew, it's like the new extra, not new, it's like the extra member. They treating it as a home, as a symbol of their journey altogether. That help them face countless of battles and adventures, always standing by them, even if they have to, if the ship have to exceed his limits. However, for Usopp is something more. Looks like that's what we see, that's what Usopp was implying to. It was his connection, his contributions to the crew. That's what Usopp's thinking. And it's deeply personal because without the ship, he's not finding anything that he can contribute to be equal to the other members of the crew, despite their bond what they create between them. And when Luffy decided to change the ship, it was like a betrayal, like Usopp cannot contribute anymore. And despite his mental state, he did what he did. Let's speak about Luffy as a captain, how it was for him now. So Luffy as a captain obviously made the agonizing decision that Merry is falling apart and we're gonna get a new ship. That's what he did. It is also a moment that reveals his flaws, Luffy flaws. Because he doesn't fully understand how the Going Merry as a ship is for Usopp's sense and his self-worth. He doesn't know that Usopp represents the Going Merry as his contribution to the crew. Let's focus on Usopp here. Usopp's speech about him thinking for a long time that he is not worthy the crew because he thinks about the ship as his contribution to this crew. He not seeing other stuff really. And this is what makes me wonder. Usopp is a clever guy without a doubt, and yet he is not seeing what he gives to the crew. And this is which actually hurting me because alright, the ship is a contribution, is not 100% what Usopp gives to the crew. In fact, I'm not even thinking it's 50%. Yes, the Going Merry is a extra crew member, I agree with that. But Usopp missing things and looks like he needs to be talked to. I don't know how this has happened because the last episode we see Usopp failing the duel. He receiving the ship from Luffy, probably as a pity or because they don't need it. He's like for a well gift maybe, this is more likely. However, he is still, and I hate that to say, he do not understand what he brings to the crew. He is basically a brain of the crew. I know Robin is smarter than him, most likely. She is definitely more knowledgeable person, but she cannot do things what Usopp can. And look what he can. He was maintaining the going merry, the ship, to the point that actually they made to the Water 7. Because without Usopp's contribution, that his fixation to his fix to the ship, maybe that's what he's thinking, that it is his contribution, and when they abandoning the ship, they abandoning all his work what he put to the ship. But it is well received already because they make to the Water 7 without a problem. He is not seeing that. But that's only a part. Okay, this is on the side, but till now he was helping them, so that's one part. Another part is his contributions to the other crew members individually. For example, Nami, he created a climate attack, the most broken so far weapon which I see. I know there is also 800 episodes at front of me, but so far the most incredible weapon what I witnessed in a One Piece is actually a climate attack and hell. Apparently he says that I didn't witness it, I didn't saw it yet. He wanted to at least improve that weapon, which was in the whole entire level with the dials. And if he actually successfully do that, I don't know, that would be amazing weapon, ladies and gents. The weapon itself elevate Nami's combat works to a literally next level, and those who's watching the power level section after the reaction would know he is definitely a friend of theirs, and they will never abandon Usopp unless he will do. Again, they not accepting Usopp's leave, they accepting his decision, but they not agreeing with that. They want to sail with Usopp further on. Even Luffy at the end cries about the after the fight what he did. That he even said it is tough for him because Usopp is such a precious friend. In case of combat ability of Usopp, damn, he helped Chopper defeating the Mr. 4 in Alabasta. Are you want to tell me that this is not his contribution? He fought alongside them with the Baroque works and he won. If this is not a contribution to the crew, what Zoro brings to the crew, what Sanji brings to the what Luffy can do. If fights and beating opponent, beating crocodile doesn't matter in case of contribution to the crew, what they bring. Of course, they not bring only that, probably. However, this is all what I'm stating here, that Usopp's contribution is far more than just a ship. And when he was saying that he is not worthy to sail with Monkey D. Luffy, let's make it official. This is simple. Usopp, sorry to say you that, but it is simple. Another lie. The thing that he breaks through his fear, despite he's still afraid of many things. He break that through, he deal with that fear. His sickness, that he cannot land on, he cannot put his foot on another island, his disease, that he will die if he will do this. He break through that sickness, he defeated that sickness every single time when he's stomping on the island. Is this not a contribution? If he's pushing himself to win within his fear, is that not a sign of the brave warrior of the sea? To beat his weaknesses. This is also a contribution to the crew, which is why I don't like what he is saying. On the other side, we need to understand that Usopp was beaten down. His mental health as well as physical health is very low at the moment, so he probably will not understand. But the thing that he says, that he was thinking about that for a while, which means he was thinking that before. Why? Let's go further back to the East Blue, to the Arlong Park. He faced Nami when Luffy fakely killed Usopp. He was there for Nami. Alright, he lose to Arlong again, but what he did, he was helping a Kokoyashi village. Is that not a contribution? all his actions, and on top of that he have to break through his fear again. So, because I need to go to the another topic, putting all together, I do think his position within the Straw Hat crew is well deserved. And I'm totally not accepting what he says. So I do believe he will have such a reflection being on the ship, being alone. He will reflect, hopefully the trauma will not hit him. And I'm gonna see him becoming back because he is irreplaceable as well for the crew. Look what kind of damage he already did within this, with his leave. Even though it was like 1 episode from that, massive. Luffy as a captain, how good is he? He is undeniably one of the unconventional pirate captains in the world of One Piece, in the entire our world, we can add it as well. He doesn't lead with a strategy or strict rules at all. He leads by a deep instinct, the belief of his crew and their shared dream. It is all based on instinct, trust, and his unwavering trust to people around him. He was like that from the very, very beginning. He is a captain who doesn't control anything on the crew. He doesn't micromanage or dictate anything on the ship in case of a task. What people should do. What makes him actually unique, he have the ability to inspire people to do greater things or being themselves and believe in themselves. But this is far from flawless. Loads of people considering him as an idiot as well, like stupid captain who's doing stupid things. His definitely biggest weakness is his impulsiveness, for sure. He likes to do stuff without thinking, which leads to really bad situations sometimes. He is not considering any kind of consequences what his action may do. He charges head first and that's all. He simply trusts that everything will be alright. Yeah. And an example of that is his decision to replace Going Merry in Water 7 without actually speaking with every single member. Most of them know stuff, but Robin does not know, Usopp does not know, and we know what happened between, you know even more because you are further on in the anime most likely. You know what happened exactly with Usopp, between Luffy and Usopp, how Usopp was saying that he misjudged Luffy. Because Luffy doesn't fully understand, because he's not going through all the consequences, he doesn't fully understand Usopp's self-worth, Usopp's emotional attachment to the ship. Eventually, for Usopp to feel betrayed. It's undoubtedly Luffy's fault in that case. Even within the reaction, I have said, Luffy, take your time. Luffy, don't announce your decision to Usopp first. Let him at least cover. Let him heal up with his wounds what he have, and then try to speak slowly about the situation. Because don't forget, he was traumatized because he lost the money, not really his body. He was traumatized because he lost the money to fix the ship, because he was thinking this is his contribution, as I said before many times. And for Luffy, moving forward by all costs is what it's matter, because if he wants to accomplish not his dreams, everybody's dreams, not considering the consequences by making some decisions, which makes him overlook the feelings of others. The good thing though within Luffy's actions is that he is aware of his mistakes, which is a good thing. Because he knows when he went too far, he knows when he make a bad call, bad judgment, he apologized. How many times Nami was beating up Luffy because he made such a stupid thing? Every single time he apologized. Alright, Nami beat him up, but Luffy not feeling pain. He's a rapper man, really. So, he admitting that. When Sanji kicked his face because he was say about to Usopp that's supposed to leave the crew, he apologized. He understands that, and hopefully he's learning and improving, because from the very beginning I was saying that I dislike Luffy as a captain, not because he's an idiot or so stuff. He was kind of making bad decisions. I had several conversations with you guys about that, about his improvement as a captain, because I would like him to improve. And this, I think, he is the biggest mistake so far, because it caused Usopp. So Luffy doesn't really rely on authority, and this is another thing, because I can understand that he's have bonds with crewmakers, and I'm happy with that actually. I'm happy how he treating things, but also I would want to see Luffy, you know, outside of the ship facing randoms. Yes, like completely new character to show some kind of dignity, because he is already a hunted person. He is worth 100 millions. He can some kind act for that. For example, the situation what I hate in a Water 7 is when he met Iceberg and that secretary of his, and they said something silly about the Iceberg. Fine, Luffy's allowed to do that. I'm completely fine with that. But then that secretary kicked everybody, basically kicking one of the bags with the money, 100 million bellies, and flew away. Literally that moment, that secretary cost him 100 million. Why he doesn't react accordingly? Why he didn't threat them? I know he's not that kind of a guy, but if that money is lost, why he's not let them the consequences? If they gonna lose 100 million bellies for the ship, if they gonna not fix the ship, or they will not make a bronze statue, Luffy's fine with that? That's what I didn't like, because as I said on that moment, on the reaction, that if that's gonna happen, if they're gonna lose the money, they should rampage on the island, and despite the whole shipwrights are strong, they should make a statement. Do not mess with us. That's what I wanted from Luffy as a captain so badly with me to make. Not the secretary. I don't care about her. She's impulsiveness. I don't care. We're losing 100 million. We're demanding 100 million from the Iceberg, because he's the one in charge. Unless we're gonna get it back somehow. Obviously, Usopp was on a journey to get it back. So this is the moment which I really don't like a lot from Luffy's behavior, because he wasn't serious enough. And this is my problem with Luffy as a captain. In his behavior, he is not serious when you are needed to. Why? When he faced Usopp at the very beginning, when Usopp on the East Blue still, when he first met Usopp, he recognized him. When Usopp was aiming at him with his weapon, he was saying lines what Shanks taught him, where Usopp was basically afraid to the point he gave up fighting Luffy. They were so serious, so hyped looking. That was amazing moment. I want Luffy to be more like that. Not all the time. I like his goofiness as well, but there are situations when you have to be simply serious. Those two moments, I'm talking about the moments of the Water 7 so far, I'm trying to. So those are two moments when Luffy actually failed. I hope he will improve. I'm not telling to be serious all the time. No. But act accordingly to the situation. Because it's not like everyday thing to lose 100 million bellies. And I also like in Skypia, bam, I like that moment of Luffy. Luffy realizing that inside the snake there are gold. And he even wake up Nami in the middle of the night, or maybe early in the morning when it's still everybody sleeping. Let's steal the gold. This is how he supposed to act. And he wasn't super serious about that. He was kind of goofy there. Okay, they end up ending up arguing with Nami. I'm fine with that. Yes, that was a super cool moment. And eventually they get the gold massive. The situation when Robbie bargained this big column of gold when they was bringing them to pay them in gold for their support for getting rid of Enel, and they simply run because they already stole a lot of gold. They are fine, they're running away, they don't need more. They was thinking it's a cannon. I'm happy with that. This is a moment when you actually can be goofy because you are set. You have the gold, you have the amazing adventure, you had the all crew members, you have the gold, the ship waiting for you, you just moving forward. I like it. You can be goofy, so be it. I'm liking that moment. So the end of the Skypia, Luffy really makes standing there. Luffy really did a massive thing. Hey, 300 million out of that gold. And that's all because of Luffy. It's not Nami who managed to get those 300 because they were offered 100. That's on Nami, yes. But without that gold, there will not be even 100 million. And that's all thanks to Luffy. And that's amazing. So yes, Luffy has those bad things. Luffy also have those good things. I'm happy with that. What I want him is just to be a little bit serious, or simply according to the situation. If we are losing badly, losing money, which is extremely important for the ship, act accordingly. Don't goofy around. So overall, I don't have a problem with him being such a captain as he is. I'm accepting that. I'm going forward. It's unique. I'm fine with it. My small problem with Luffy is, as I said, he's not treating certain situations in a higher degree, in a higher importance than others. So putting everything all together, I'm fine with Luffy. I'm actually happy with him. He still have more those good things instead of the bad, and looks like in every next arc he having more good instead of the bad. And if anybody's saying, oh, Luffy is stupid, Luffy is an idiot, so what? That's his personality, you know? If we want to find cases, find situations for every single member, I'm sure of it that we will find a proof of idiocy, if we can call it that way, for every single member, every single character in One Piece. Next topic, Luffy versus Usopp. Because I'm having a thought about that, and really it turns out that Luffy wants to move forward, wants to relinquish the old ship. He has the support of the crew technically, except Usopp and Robin, because you don't know where's Robin. And he wants to move forward to fulfill everybody's dream. It is hard, yes, it is. It is a heartbreaking, yes it is. We have to leave and abandon this ship which was kind of friend to us, yes it is. And we will cry about that because, and we did all what we could to save and help going Mary, yes it's true. Usopp doesn't know that, unfortunately, yes. Robin have completely no idea of the situation. Holy moly, that's big. Don't know how Robin, but Robin is less attached to the ship actually than others. But let's go back to Luffy and Usopp. So as I said, Luffy wants to move forward. On the contrary, Usopp trying to remain as it is. Stay as it is, do not lose anything, do not lose any of him, his soul, because he's treating very highly of the ship. And he believes that this ship can handle stuff. So this fight is heartbreaking, really. And it's also kind of symbolic. It is basically a loyalty to the ship versus a greater good. And I already spoke about Usopp and his connections to the ship. And the Luffy, obvious, and I already said that Luffy is all about the survival at this point. And this is a responsibility for Luffy as a captain. And I said before that this is a high priority situation and he has to be serious, and he is, and I like it. He make a tough decision and I like it. And I do not like Usopp's approach approach to that at all, because he's very childish. He's not considering others at all. Yes, he might have a tough moment, that's for sure. He have a breakdown moment. His mind is not probably working together, and he's putting the bond to the ship, which we can call that, higher than bond to the crew, because he's feeling let down. So for Luffy is progress, and for Usopp is just personal betrayal. And this is mainly of the misunderstanding, because I'm still saying this is a misunderstanding because Usopp wasn't present. And this is because of this Frankie family actually. He wasn't present in the conversation when they spoke about the ship. And I was asked in a comment in a previous video what I even thinking about Frankie. Yes, I hate him. He is a leader. He does nothing literally, but he made an order for them to pursue every single pirate, what I'm think of it, because that's what they're doing, and gain the money. What kind of money for what, I don't know, but he took the money, leave. He not even considered that some of the pirates might be really threatful. Is he that self-confident that his teams, his family can make it? Because it is a one thing of taking Usopp, doing whatever they did to him, again in order from Frankie, the leader I'm assuming from the Frankie family. And the other stuff, just take the whole crew, destroy the whole crew, nothing will left. Because just destroying Usopp, they making such a mistake of leaving the rest alive. Because the rest will obviously avenge it. This is a piracy which you're talking about. Yes, some people doesn't care about crew members, but hey, not Straw Hats. And I'm sure in a higher tier, let's say, of the pirates, where there are the bounties, high bounties, like at least on the Straw Hats level or higher, not Bellamy like, but even though Bellamy and Sarkis was also kind of connected, they will be going after them. So if you having those 200 millions, you have to make sure, you have to be prepared that the others will come after you. And he literally was thinking that his Frankie family will stand a chance against two people which total bounty is almost 200 millions. What if Robin will came here over 200 millions? Really? He just took the money and leave. What if he never come back? That's an option. Because it's 200 millions, ladies and gents. So that's what I'm thinking on Frankie. He is, I don't know, if he really cares about his family, he called that, he make a grave mistake. And he will get paid, because when he come back, if he come back, Luffy will be after him, considering what happened between Luffy and Usopp. And let's go back to Luffy versus Usopp. In that fight, Luffy is fighting for the crew's future, which is necessary for survival and achieving his goal as a pirate. He wants to say goodbye to the ship still, so he really thinks highly of the ship as well. But on the contrary, he gave away the ship to Usopp, so he relinquished his plan to say goodbye to Mary and give that ship to Usopp at the end, because he still values Usopp, so he give him a ship as a reward, because he understands how important the ship is to Usopp. But now Usopp preferred to stay with a ship instead of with a crew, which is tough for him. Both of them definitely grow as a character. Both of them cry after the fight, which is massive. Both of them kind of regretting, but they still following their ideas, let's say. Yes, Usopp's idea again is to become a brave warrior of the sea, yes, but he's fighting for his attachment, which is why he stood against Luffy. And Luffy saw it. Luffy understand it. And he agreed for the fight with Usopp, because he see how determined is Usopp. He see that there is no turning back at this point. After all what he said, he even says to Nami that if the words could fix anything, that thing wouldn't happen. Usopp's dedication to the ship, to save the ship, is very, high. And even though I don't like, as I said, what Usopp is doing, simply put because I know how Luffy is, how unique captain he is still a captain, ladies and gents. And Usopp saying such a thing to the captain obviously will have to have consequences. Because this is actually the high situation, a high scene which Luffy have to prioritize and be serious about it, deal with the problem. Because what if he will kind of change the mind and Usopp will not leave the crew? He will stay, but he clearly stayed that he's not happy about it. I'm asking, where is the loyalty now? Is Luffy going to be goofing around and let the traitor, because Usopp will be eventually a traitor in case of ship's doings? Can he trust Usopp like he trusted him in Alabasta? So Luffy have to take it seriously. This fight basically represents the cost, what sometimes the difficult decision of the leadership may cause. And we should do everything possible to avoid such a situation. And as I said before, Luffy is not thinking about the consequences of his action. He fought well. He found a good idea. Again, he didn't thought about the risk which are going with it, and he make a greatest mistake by telling Usopp straight from the bat everything. So this is clearly Luffy's doing. It is clearly Luffy's fault that Usopp left the crew, in my opinion. Yes, Usopp act bad and I don't like it, but we need to take the circumstances. We need to take that Usopp was beaten up badly. Usopp wasn't in a conversation with Iceberg. Usopp didn't hear anything. Because this anger what Usopp have, if there will be, it should go on the shipwright, to be honest. It shouldn't go anywhere. But if there is anything, he should face the shipwright, not Luffy, because Luffy is in the same shoes as Usopp when they dealt with the ship. And we saw how the fight goes, so I'm leaving that to my reaction. I don't want to repeat myself, so if you're interested how I reacted to that fight, there will be a video out there. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys like it. I forgot to ask you for a like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Tell me what you're thinking about it, and see you in the end.